started by sharing some brief reminders of some quick cases that we had talked about earlier in the semester. I actually had a much longer list to start with, but because we have such limited time remaining, I winnowed that down to just a handful of cases that we had already talked about. Again, I'm not going to go back through those again today. I'm just going to go to the main point, the reason for revisiting these cases. I told you on Monday that there's a common theme that all these cases have, and that is the criticisms that were leveled at the court, and as I said, not just about the decision of the court specific to that case and the merits of the case, but a more fundamental criticism that runs through these about the role of the court in our system. I'm really trying to get you to appreciate, our constitutional system of government, our democracy, as we like to refer to it. We have this idea that our system of government is a fundamental principle is separation of powers, right? And good government, our concept of good government really centers around this idea that we have three separate branches of government for a reason, right? There are three basic functions of government: a legislative function, an executive function, and a judicial function. And the legislative branch is supposed to do the legislative function, and the executive branch is supposed to do the executive function, and the courts are supposed to do the judicial function. So if in the minds of these critics, the courts are really overstepping that judicial function, they're overstepping that judicial role, and they are performing really what amounts to a legislative function, then in their minds, there's something fundamentally wrong, right? And as I told you, it's not a new criticism. It's something that's been around for a long time. I'm not going to, I don't want to spend invest a lot of time here because we've got some specific things to cover, but you can see, I've just pulled some quotes out here. Let me get the bigger version of this so you can see a little bit better. I pulled some quotes out here from notable presidents, including beginning here with the current president, who has had an ongoing back and forth sort of debate, I guess, for a lack of a better term, about the role of the courts in our system. I don't know if you remember, but not too many months ago, the Chief Justice of the United States shot back in a way that Chief Justices of the United States Supreme Court never really do, back at President Trump, and his criticisms of the court. But before him, his Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, or former Attorney General Jeff Sessions, had some criticisms about the court. And even back during the Obama administration, President Obama had some criticisms of the role of the court. Oh, we can go, again, these are just selected quotes that I picked here. Franklin Roosevelt had some choice, criticisms of the court, and so on. Theodore Roosevelt, a couple of quotes there that I have from Theodore Roosevelt, even Abraham Lincoln, and going all the way back to President Jackson, who had some criticisms, and Thomas Jefferson as well, who had some criticisms of the court, right? So what all of these criticisms, without, reading the verbatim passages with here, what they basically all have in common is some criticism about the court should be, exercising some restraint and staying within its proper role in our system. Okay? So, as I told you right at the end of the class period last time, there's no question that, from a political science perspective, that the courts, and particularly the Supreme Court, does from time to time engage in policy making. But we have to be absolutely clear about this point. Certainly not all of the decisions of the United States Supreme Court are examples of judicial policy making, and for that matter, not even most of them are examples of judicial policy making. But clearly there are some examples that we can point to. So we have to have some objective criteria. And ultimately what we're going to get to down here are two criteria. Because I have under this heading here, it says the criteria of judicial policy making. The first criterion is the impact criterion, and the second one is the compliance criterion. So we have to sort of set that up first, though.